please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. This is Power Breakfast on CNBC TV18. On to some national news. Then the United Kingdom rolled out the red carpet for Prime Minister Narendra Modi in London. He interacted with the Indian diaspora at London's iconic Central Hall Westminster. At the mega event called Bharat Ki Baat Sabke Saath, Prime Minister Modi spoke about his vision to transform India and the power of Indian democracy and its people. Modi also met with the British Prime Minister Theresa May, Prince Charles and Queen Elizabeth II through the day. Sanjay Suri reports.
Mr. Modi was in an extensive conversation here at the Westminster Central Hall in London. He faced some chosen questions, well short of hostile, but touched on some controversial issues such as the surgical strikes on Pakistan. He spoke against politicizing cases of crime. He spoke of development, of the promise of taking India forward. He spoke of his own efforts in that direction at a personal level. And now we move on to the Commonwealth Summit past the bilateral of Wednesday, and that is going to take up some trade and business issues that were flagged bilaterally on Wednesday. The Commonwealth Summit is due to last both Thursday and Friday. On Friday, the leaders will be at a retreat at Windsor Castle, where they will have an opportunity to take matters forward that have been stuck or delayed at the official level. But the thrust is on expanding and improving business and trade ties among Commonwealth countries, in particular between Britain and India. In London, Sanjay Suri.
Okay, talking about the cement major ACC then, which reported its first quarter, or rather the quarter 4 earnings yesterday. The sales volume saw a 14% jump this time. Nigel is here to decode the numbers. Nigel, good morning. The numbers look a tad bit better than expectations.
Well, those numbers looked better, in fact, Anisha, and they came out very late in the night. So I was wondering, is there going to be some kind of a surprise? Good to see that it's only the numbers. So, you know, the street has to work with only that. Now, remember, for ACC, it's the first year of a calendar year. So for them, it's the first quarter. The sales numbers, yes, in fact, it jumped up by close to around 14%. That looked better than what we were working with. Volumes bang in line. We were working with around 7.1 billion tons. It came in at that number. But importantly, the concrete business, you know, that in fact did jump up by nearly around 16.7%. And that looked good, telling you that the concrete part of their business, which is a smaller part, that's growing very, very well. But the key reasons for the beat is the blended realization, even on a sequential basis, came in higher by around 3%. We were working with more or less a flattish number. So that's one reason. And the second reason is cost rationalization. And that's perfectly reflected, because yesterday I was telling you there could be a bit of compression in margins. No, that wasn't the case. There was a tad bit of an expansion over there. You're having a top line growth in double digits and your total expenditure is down by close to around 3%. That's why, in fact, you're seeing that the margins did expand. Yes, power and fuel costs did spike up. Yes, the freight costs did spike up. But the other expenditure, when you have a growth of close to around 8% in terms of volumes, and yet in fact the other expenditure is flattish, that's telling you that there is some cost rationalization, and going ahead sustainability is going to be the key. In terms of the profit number, came in at around 250 crores. That was much better than what we were working with on the back of a better operational performance. Remember, the effective tax rate returned to that 33% odd mark. But the other income, that jumped up by more than 40%. That's what gave some kind of support to the profit number. The management says that cost savings, that's the key reason why, in fact, the margin beat did come about. They're controlling the fixed cost as well. And, you know, since it came so late, there was some part of the street that was getting scared. Maybe royalty will be increased. They said that that doesn't increase. It stays as it was. It had expired in December 2017. And now for the next 3 years, the royalty with Wholesome will stay the same. That is at around 1%. CLSA has a buy rating with a target price of around 2,150. But important to note, they are expecting cement prices to increase by around 6% from here. So just keep that in mind. The stock opens up in the green.
Absolutely. And it ended at the low point of
Yes.
trade, closer to the low point of trade yesterday. So we'll watch out for that. But take a short break, come back, we'll get you a handle on the cues to watch from the futures and options space.
Well, let's talk commodities with Manisha Gupta, who joins us early this morning with all the update. Manisha, good morning. Crude season up, a very swift rally up around 3%.
Towards that $74 per barrel mark. Very, very heavy rally is what you have seen in crude. One, of course, is the U.S. inventories have continued to decline, and we are very close to the 5-year average, and that is exactly the target that the global markets have been looking at. Apart from that, it also has to do with the Iran sanctions. Remember, Iran produces 4% of the global supplies. So if U.S. is looking to reintroduce sanctions on Iran, that is adding premium to prices. The US dollar hasn't done much, still continues to trade below 90, and that is a supportive factor as well. So I believe we are heading quite close to 75 right now, is what the global experts as well have been talking about. And not just crude, you are looking at multi-year highs for the metals as of prices also. So you have nickel trading at multi-year highs. You have aluminum holding around 6-year highs. We saw copper prices gain up to a 1-month high as well. So almost everything in industrial commodities is doing well.
All right, almost everything in industrial commodities is doing well. So let's take it straight to Nigel. Nigel, big rally in metals overnight, stocks in focus and their impact?
Well, you know, people look to play some of these stocks. Like if copper prices go up, it doesn't have a direct relation on Hindalco and Vedanta. So just keep that in mind. But the commodity that we are focusing on is aluminium for a whole host of reasons. One is that Goldman Sachs, overnight, in fact, what they said was that, you know, they have warned that the Rusal shock, because Rusal, in fact, remember that sanctions have been imposed on Russia. So on the back of that, we have seen prices moving up. They're saying because of the Rusal shock, we can see aluminium prices go to around $3,000 on a per ton basis. Before all of this started, aluminium prices were below $2,000 per ton. Currently, it is at around $2,500 per ton. That's point number one. Second point is Alcoa came out with a set of numbers. Numbers look good. Not just the numbers, even commentary is looking good. They've increased their deficit forecast going ahead, and they've also increased the aluminium demand growth forecast. They're talking about 4.25% to around 5.25%. So commentary from Alcoa was very, very good. That's what will support some of these aluminium prices. And finally, Macquarie has come out with a note on Nalco. They're saying Nalco is a play on both aluminium as well as on alumina. They have a target price of around 77 rupees on a per share basis. But that is factoring in 6.5 times EV upon EBITDA. And it's also factoring in alumina as well as aluminium prices at a price which is much lower than what it is. So their target of 77 is factoring in alumina price of 380. Oh. And in fact, aluminium price is around 2,063. That's as per 77 rupees. They're saying if it increases by $100 from there, then they expect the fair value to be at around 116 rupees per share. And we already know that alumina prices have gone through the roof. You know, overnight, there were talks that, in fact, even alumina was being sold at $700, $750 per ton. So just keep that in mind. Watch out for these stocks. Intraday charts will tell you yesterday towards the end of trade, Nalco as well as Hindalco, both of them did well. The street was sensing this, but they'll do well today as well.
All right, Nigel, you know, $700 that you're talking about is more than double of what we saw just about a month ago. So we'll keep an eye out on that.
Just a quick word on this. You know, they have approved that. That was more or less on expected lines. You know, limiting period master supply agreement. This is what has come in from ACC yesterday, now Ambuja as well. So there was a joint meeting that was held basically yesterday.
All right, so we'll take it straight then. Okay, no tension. Let's put it that way. ACC said it and Ambuja corroborated it. Let's put it that way. So first up, let's also take a look at the cues coming in from the F&O space. You know, yesterday the markets, they were lower. Nifty snapped the 9-day winning streak. But the intraday indicator that we have, the Nifty futures premium, that one moved from 2.5 points to about 12.7 points, telling you that yes, there was purchase at lower levels. Purchase there was. Data came by and corroborated that as well. FIIs bought about 2,300 crores in index futures. A large part of that was fresh additions on the long side and covering of close to 9,150 shorts as well. So the long exposure that we speak about, 18% at the start of this series by the FIIs. Yesterday was 29%, and today as we go into trade, it's 36%. So doubling of FII long exposure is something that we're watching out for. For the markets, the broader markers are placed at the 10,700 call and the 10,400 put. Mind you, the 10,400 put has been the maximum open interest as against 10,000, which was at the start of the series. So the support is moving higher. Talking about support moving higher, despite the correction yesterday, we saw a fair amount of writing on the 10,500 put as well as the 10,600 put saw some writing. 10,700 call continues to see some addition on the short side. So we'll watch out for levels on the higher end. Nifty Bank weekly options expiry, the spot is at 25,100. We've seen writings at the 25,200, 25,300 as well as 25,400, 500 calls. Let's see whether the Nifty Bank moves higher and there is short covering out there. The bears are a little happy with the fact that bulls covered the 25,000 puts. Watch out for the Nifty Bank 200-day moving average at 24,940. Jet Airways, we were talking about it, enters F&O ban in today's trading session. Amara Raja Battery, Dabur and V-Guard fresh longs. Watch out for Balrampur Chini. They have 87% open interest as against the market-wide position limits. Similar what happened to Jet Airways yesterday. So maybe if more open interest is added on Balrampur Chini, may re-enter F&O ban today.
Okay, Maglam, thank you so much for that. Looks like an interesting setup for trade today. But with that, it is a wrap on Power Breakfast. From the team and myself, thank you so much for watching. We leave you with the picks of our bullseye contestants for the day 4 of the week.
I have a sell call on IDBI futures, stop loss 72.20 and target 67. Next one is a sell call on Bharat Financial futures, stop loss 1163 and target 1092. The third one is also on the short side, that is CESC futures, stop loss 1063 and target 995. The last one, however, is on the long side, and that is Hindustan Zinc, stop loss 316 and target 337.
My first stock call for the day will be a buy in Tata Global Beverages, which I'd buy with a stop loss at 281 for a target of 290. My second pick will be a buy on Godrej Industries with a stop loss at 585 for a target of 605. My third stock call for the day will be a buy on Indraprasth Gas with a stop loss at 290 for a target of 298. And my final stock call for the day will be a sell on Reliance Capital with a stop loss at 441 for a target of 425.
First call is a buy call on Majesco for a target of 585, stop loss 500. Second buy would be on NRB pairings for a target of 194, stop loss 165. Third buy would be on Arvind for a target of 438, stop loss 408. And final call would be a buy call on Balrampur Chini for a target of 79, stop loss 67.75.